Hello everyone. So in the previous video we were talking about Python functions and we have built some calculations, okay, right? And apart from that we have learned lambda functions also, how to use lambda functions and what are the like features that lambda functions gives us, and what is the difference between lambda functions and Python functions, right? So I hope you have revised those things, and in this lecture we'll be talking about Python generators and iterators. So if you remember, if I just define a function, define add a comma b, okay. Now if I just say return a plus b, okay, just if I just do this thing, and if I just call the like 1 comma 2, okay, this will be this the function will be giving, right? And let's suppose we have a function like this, def suppose mm, maybe we use for loop, we can use add, yeah, we can use multiple tables, right? Tables we can use a comma b, we can give now. Okay, b is not needed here. Okay, for I in range, suppose I need the thing till 10, range, sorry, 10 plus 1 will be there, right? Because 11 will be excluding 1, there that will be the range. So we have to pass 11, and now we have to pass print a into I, right? That is the thing we are doing, right? Tables, like suppose 4, okay, it will be giving this, it will be 1 to 11, right? But what if I don't want to see all the outputs in once, rather let's make something that will iterate one by one, okay. So there comes a method called like the print and return, there is called yield method, okay. This is yield method, okay. Now let's try to do this. So let's yield a into I. Now let's see, it's saying that's generator object, right? So what is this generator object and iterator object? Let's see. Iterators and generators. First of all, we will be talking about iterators, right? Iterator act as an object and allows to traverse via all the present collected elements, irrespective of its implementation type. So what does this mean? That means iterator act as an object and allows to go through the values one by one. It have two type of methods in Python, such as iter and next, right? The objects of list, string or tuples can be used to produce an iterator. Note, next and iter built-in functions in Python, okay. So let's see about the generator. What is generators? Generators allow us to generate as we go along instead of storing everything in the memory, okay. In Python, generator function allow us to write a function that can send back a value and then later resume to pick up where it was left. It also allows us to generate a sequence of values over time. The main difference in syntax will be the use of yield statement. Note, in most aspects a generator function will appear very similar to a normal function. The main difference is when a generator function is called and compiled, they become an object that supports an iteration protocol. Note, that means when they are called, they don't actually return a value and then exit. The generator functions will automatically suspend and resume their execution and state around the last point of value generation. The main advantage here is state suspension, which means instead of computing an entire series of values upfront, and the generator functions can be suspended. To understand this concept better, let's go ahead and learn how to create some generator functions. Okay, now let's see. This is a generator object, right? So if I want to iterate through the values, if I want these many values in the table, obviously, so how can I get that? So simple, it's a generator object, right? So we can use next, and inside next we can pass this. So it will be printing the first value. What is the first value? 4. Then again execute, it will be like, then again execute tables 4, it will be 4, right? Okay, so it will be taking the first value here. Now if I want all the values here, we can just iterate through it. If for I in tables 4 print I, see all the values we are getting here. But if we want just one and another values here, we can do like this, right? And maybe we can apply the iterate function here. Okay, now next of A we can write next of A. See, this is changing, right? One after another we are getting here. So what we just stored the thing in one variable, and then we are just doing next operation with this variable. But let's see till it's going to 40 what is happening here. Let's see. After 40, if I execute this will give a error like stop iteration. So it will not iterate after 40, after it reached the limit. What is the limit? 40 here, right? So this is the help of iteration functions. With this kind of thing, we instead of storing all the values in one, like in our memory, we can like iterate through these kind of things, and we can just store values one by one. So this is very useful when we have so much data, maybe GB and TB of data. So we don't want to store all the things here, right? So instead of return statement or print statement, we can use just yield statement, right? So with this yield function, we can have our values one by one, and that is very useful. Just let's see some more operations here. Okay, so we know list is a iterable object, right? Let's create a list. Maybe 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, can create it. Now if I want to iterate through the list, let's see it is not an iterator. So we have to create a iterator first. So how to create that? Maybe lst equal to iter, then pause the list. Okay, now call this lst. Okay, next of, you have previously seen that it was not iterable, so we have made this iterable object with the help of iter object, and next now just call this like lst. See, we will be having values, then again execute. It is going in this direction, right? And then execute also. So we can execute, and when it reach the last index and the limit also, obviously, so it will be giving you an stop iteration, this kind of things. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, so what if we'll have a string? We know strings, we can also iterate with the for loops. Suppose name equal to, which case for I in name print I, if I say it is iterable, right? What if I do like next of name it is giving error. Str object is not an iterator. So that means we have to again convert the thing, right? So that means the note will be here, but that doesn't mean the string itself is an iterator like the list. We can check this with the next function. This means that a string object supports iteration, but we cannot directly iterate over it as we could with a generator function. The iter function allows us to do just that. So we have to first of all convert the whole thing into generator object with the help of iter function. Okay, so let's do this. Name equal to iter object what name, right? Let's create this, and now it is become a generator object. See here, okay, it is an generator and iterator object. Now let's try to like print next. Okay, see, first letter it is printing, then again execute, then r, execute I. So one after another we are getting the values, and it is not storing the values. Okay, it is storing this only these values, okay, inside your memory. So if you have a big data, okay, that then you can use this like yield function instead of the return and print statement. That will take a whole lot of like RAM usage in your system. Okay, so yield function is very useful when you have a large data, and you can also iterate through the generator objects, right? Now let's see. Let's like some do some operations with this generator and iterator objects, right? So let's create a function def like you can see this example. Let's create a function for the cubes maybe x we can have, yeah, range, x will be range, for range in x yield x comma x3. This means it's power. Okay, now we can do one thing. For I in cubes, then maybe I suppose 10, print, then f string x equal to this I, and we can have the j also, comma j I, and x cube of x equal to j. Okay, now let's execute this. Okay, y in range, see, okay, it will be like I, right? Yeah, see, this is the thing we are getting here, right? So this is very useful when you have yield, and if I just want to just do the iteration here, instead of with the for loop we can obviously see all the values, but if we just want to like check the only one first value here, so we can do it like this. Next of cubes, then suppose I'm giving 10. See, the first value is here, second value is, okay, we have to store here something like cube equal to this. Now cube, let's execute this. Okay, next of cube. Okay, okay, so we have to iterate through this. Okay, iter, then do this. Now check this. This is everything, right? Okay, this is how we can iterate through these values, and obviously we can do iterations here like this. So instead of storing all the values, we can store one values and these kind of things. But one thing it's very interesting here. Let's see this. So the thing is like, let's suppose we have stored this thing, right? Okay, so the first value is 0 0, you can see. Now if I run a for loop here, for I in, what is the object? Cube, right? Cube print I, you will be seeing something. See, the values are from 0 to 9, right? So we have iterated the first element here from this object. Okay, and the object is nothing but this generator object. Okay, now the first one we have extracted here in the 69th line, right? But then after executing this line, if we just run a for loop, we'll just see these values from after excluding this first one, because we have iterated the first one, right? So it will not be stored here. So again if I run this will be stopped because it has iterated all the values, right? Okay, so this is very useful and this is very important thing you have to know. Let's take one example also. For I in range, suppose 10 yield yield I 2 square, and you can see yield outside function. So this you have to remember, yield can be used inside a function, and return is also. Print you can do, but inside function you only have to write return and yield. Print you can write here, no issue. Print can be write inside or outside the function, no issue. But inside a function you have to store this. Let's check. Sq or squared x. Okay, for I in range of x y yield x e power 2. Okay, now let's check this. We have to store this. Okay, sq is equal to sqr, let's suppose 10. Okay, and if I just do it like this, it will give you error, like, right? It will give you error or not? That's the question. Here will be I, sorry. Check this. This is happening, right? This is an iterable object. See, right? It is not storing the whole data, rather it is storing one data for each execution, right? So just check this and stop it. That means it is crossing the limits. So now if I again want to iterate, it won't be executed, right? If we want to iterate, then again we have to run that, and it will be from start. And now if we extract the first one, now if I run the for loop, the first one will be excluded, right? And now if I run again, it will be stop iteration if it is giving, right? Because we have iterated all the values here. So that is the thing we have to know for this. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So these functions are very useful when we want to do some big operations. Okay, Let's do a big operations. Define like what do you call, maybe we want to add values one after another. Okay, let's all multiply values. Okay, let's do this like super multi. Okay, just pass x. Let's suppose for I in range x. Okay, what it will be doing, yield I into I plus 1 okay into I plus 2. Okay, so it will be multiplicating the values, then after values, and after the two values it will be multiplying. Okay, these kind of things. Let's do this. It is going to be a big operation, right? So if I just pass 100 here, okay, 100 here, it will be no issue. But if I just print, it will take so much time, right? Let's store this something sp. Okay, now if I just print sp, this is generator object, right? So with the help of next, we can iterate it through it. Okay, you can see this kind of things, right? You can see, and all the values you can print like this, right? See all the values we have here. So isn't it amazing that we, instead of storing all the values, we are storing one data for every execution. So that is very useful when we have a large set of data. So that is when we have to use yield. Instead of that, we also can use in some other functions when we need only one data at a time. So that is also very helpful. So like for some big computation powers, like that works, that needs some big computational power, so that is where yield function is very useful, right? So this class is all about the generators and iterators. So I hope this is clear, and be there with me, and we'll be talking about more in detail. And in the next class we'll be talking about something else also. So let's see what is like we can cover in the next class. Till then, keep learning and keep practicing those things, and I'm sure you'll be finding your passion for Python, obviously. Thank you.